and thank you for joining us again for Storytime with the BSM. My name is Amy, and this week we are reading a book called Ariba, an old tale about new shoes, and it is written by Masha Manapov. From the moment Marcus put on his new shoes, he couldn't stop moving. He bounced all the way from the living room to the kitchen, circled the house 3 times and the shed 3 times more, climbed the tree in Billy's backyard, ran up and down the 19 steps to his front door, and accidentally stepped on Carlo's tail. He even jumped so high that he almost reached his father's nose, and there's no doubt that his father is the tallest in the family by far. Marcus's new shoes lit up and flashed in 2 colors. If his mother would only let him, he would wear them to bed. There wasn't a single person to whom Marcus didn't present his new shoes. He showed them off to Billy's mother, the bus driver, the ice cream man, Mr. Sampson and his annoying little dog from across the street, and just about everyone else who happened to cross his path. Just as he was running out of people to appreciate his shoes, his grandfather called. Grandpa listened closely to everything Marcus had to say, then asked him, "How do you feel in your shoes?" "I feel great," Marcus said. "I can bounce, roll, and jump super high, like a superhero." "Ah, yes," Grandpa replied after a short pause. "This reminds me of a story that happened a long time ago. Would you like to hear it?" Marcus snuggled deep in his chair. He loved Grandpa's stories. Under an endless sky, in a small village surrounded by high mountains, there once lived a boy named Ariba. During the day, he herded sheep, and as the long evenings darkened into night, he gazed up at the stars. For his 12th birthday, his parents gave him a pair of shoes. Not old shoes or hand-me-downs, but brand new shoes. They were sturdy and, oh boy, they were big. So big that Ariba would be able to wear them for a long, long time. After all, feet grow very fast. "These shoes will never wear out," his mother said proudly. At first, Ariba couldn't take his eyes off them. He hugged them for a long minute. Then, overjoyed, he threw them up into the air, caught one in each hand, and walked around with his feet high in the sky. Ariba decided he would wear his shoes only on Sundays and very special occasions. During the week, they lay on the mat by the door, waiting. As it turned out, his shoes loved adventures. Once they took him to the highest peak of the Yellow Mountain. On another occasion, they helped him put out a fire in the yard. I've heard they even led him to track down the village robber. And then there was that funny night when they urged him to dance at a wedding. Growing up with them was never boring, even on days when they did nothing particularly unusual together and simply gazed up at the sky. As time went by, Ariba's friends began to leave the village for the city. At first, Ariba wanted to stay, but then he got to wondering what the sky was like over there, beyond the high mountains. And so one morning, he put on his shoes and went on his way, taking the rugged road. When Ariba arrived in the city, there was so much to see, but the sky had become very small, and the stars seemed to have completely disappeared. Soon, he forgot to ever look up. For his new home, Ariba bought a new bed, a new table, a new chair, and a new pair of shoes. His old ones didn't seem to fit his new life, so he carefully cleaned them up and put them outside. Not long afterwards, some children spotted the shoes and recognized them at once. "These are our new neighbor's shoes. He was wearing them when he arrived. Let's leave them by his door." How surprised Ariba was when he opened the door. "Well, old friends," he said, "I see you missed me, but how on earth did you return? And what are you doing here? You know I don't have time for games like I used to." The time Ariba decided that he would discard his shoes at the train station. Surely someone will find them and take them away, he thought. But the very same day, the inspector who knew everything and everyone was patrolling the train station. "Such disorder," he cried when he saw the shoes. "Citizens can't be allowed to throw their belongings on the platform." Upon close inspection, he recognized the shoes as Ariba's. Without a doubt, they had to be returned at once. When Ariba got home from work and found the shoes back on his doorstep, he looked around, rubbing his eyes in astonishment. "How could you have possibly gotten back here?" Ariba explained. "And why won't you leave me be? I have no use for you anymore." This time he decided to take them far beyond the street, the park, and even the train station. There's no way they'll find their way back now, he thought. But a few days later, As the story goes, a woman spotted the shoes and picked them up. She asked around till someone said, "I know who these belong to. They are Ariba's shoes. We grew up together in the village. He was very fond of them and wore them every Sunday. We should return them to him." This time, when Ariba saw his old shoes, he was struck by a realization and said, "You know what? I am truly happy to see you. Let's never leave each other again." That same night, Ariba put on his old shoes. They led him to the darkest spot in the city, where once again he looked up and finally saw the starry sky. "What a journey those shoes have been on," Marcus said, having listened and laughed along with the whole story. "I'm so happy they came back. After all, I really like being with you on Sundays. We always had the most fantastic time together." Thank you for joining us once again for Storytime with the BSM. We hope you join us again next week.